I have always wanted to walk on stage to Billy Joel. That was a dream come true. And it is wonderful to be in London with everyone. When I saw Joe's email asking for proposals for this talk, I knew I wanted to submit an idea. The subject line said calling everyone with a story to tell, and boy, do I have stories to tell. So one night, I was sitting on the couch, talking to my husband, trying to figure out what story I could possibly submit. And I realized that all of my stories start with saying yes. So we all want to be successful. We all want to grow in our careers, and we all want to lead fulfilling lives. And that takes skill, and it takes ambition, and a little bit of luck. But the reality is, it doesn't matter how skilled or how ambitious or how lucky you are. If you say no to that opportunity when it comes along, it's gone. The Canadian hockey player, Wayne Gretzky, said you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm here today to tell the story of how all my stories and all of our stories start with saying yes. When I was in college, I did 5 internships, and the only one I didn't like was with a PR agency. I spent countless hours physically cutting out newspaper articles and gluing them in a clipbook. It was tedious, it was boring, it was sticky, and I vowed I would never take a real job doing that. Then I moved to San Francisco, and a little thing called the dot-com bust had decimated the job market. So I had to change of heart, and I said yes to a job at a small PR agency. Man, am I glad I didn't listen to my 20-year-old self. Since taking that first job, answering the phones and faxing press releases, yeah, I said faxing press releases, I have met Queen Noor of Jordan. I've sat down and had a glass of wine with Eunice and Maria Shriver. I had security clearance to be backstage while Michelle Obama spoke to a room full of powerful women. I've launched products that have become household names. I traveled all over the world, from Singapore to Mexico City to Brazil, with the Zendesk International Communications team. And I'm right back here in the agency world at Method, in London, on stage, talking to all of you. All because I said yes. And I know it's not always possible to say yes. You could lose a lot of money if you said yes to every Nigerian prince that emailed you asking for your bank account information. But what if, in those moments when the answer is, I don't know, maybe, let me think about it, instead of saying no, you found a way to say yes and, or yes but, or yes then. So I have a 6-year-old daughter. Her name is Helen. She's actually here today with her dad, Mike. Hi, Helen. Hi, Mike. And Helen and Mike love to cook together. I love to watch and eat. So when Helen was about 3 and a half, she asked her dad if she could help him cut up the vegetables. Now, normally, 3-year-olds and sharp knives are a bad combination. But instead of saying no, Mike said, sure, and let me teach you how to use this very sharp 6-inch chef's knife safely and well. Now today, Helen is a phenomenal prep chef. She still has all of her fingers, right, Helen? And I will tell you, there is not a single vegetable that she cuts up that she doesn't then eat. Everyone wins. And let's be honest, clients can be a lot like kids, right? When you say no, they get mad. But when you say yes and, or yes but, or yes then, everyone wins. And I also know it's not always easy to say yes. In fact, there was a recent study that found 50% of British adults suffer from something called FOSSE, or the fear of saying yes. And the psychologist, Emma Kenny, who was quoted in that study, said that we often feel nervous or anxious when we're presented with new opportunities, especially when they take us out of our comfort zone. And that's when our automatic reaction is to say no, even if deep down we really want to say yes. And when we say yes, We build confidence, we build resilience, and that can make life a whole lot more interesting. And so what matters about this to everyone in this room, what matters to all of us, is that we all have the power of the word yes. The late Secretary of State, Madeleine Albright, used to say hell yes to every opportunity. That's powerful. And it's not just a word, it's an idea. If you think about the Nike slogan, "Just do it," this is one of the most memorable, impactful, and significant slogans of our time. And it is essentially a call to say yes. With this campaign, Nike was able to increase its share of the North American tennis shoe market from 14% to 43% in just 10 years. That amounts to $2 million every single day for Nike over 10 years. That's powerful. And this isn't just about a brand slogan or a famous diplomat or client relations. Saying yes to new experiences can take you places you could never possibly imagine. And so what I want you all to remember from our time together today is that yes is the most powerful word you have in your communications toolbox. The next time you think about saying no to a client or a colleague, your kid or your partner, whoever it is, think about what would happen if you say yes instead. You can always say no later. But right now, in this moment, even if you don't think you have the skills or the information or the time, just say yes. You never know where it could lead you. Thank you.